Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, the Manga Man here, and today we're going to be talking about Black Clover, specifically 279 and 280. I didn't really get a chance to do 279 last week, but being the chapter was quite short, the video would have been short anyway. With that being said, it's a double header, and I can honestly say the dark times have begun in the Black Clover universe. With that being said, let's get into this review. So, I want to keep this part of the video short because there's a lot more to discuss for chapter 280, and I don't want to make this video a long video. All timestamps for relevant chapters and segments of this video will be put in the description below, as well as a link to my subreddit. So, there's only a few things that could really happen. Now, don't get me wrong, the ending is really impactful, but there's a few things. So we see that, to start off with, Miller Leona's basically taking care of the ancient demon. It's not surprising, it's Miller Leona, so it is a bit disappointing that this is supposed to be an ancient demon, but it does show that if you think about where the first Magic King was, he was able to defeat an ancient demon class or level being, so it shows that Miller Leona is probably close to that. That being said, a conversation happens after that, and then there's mention of Yuno and him being very similar to his father and his mother. In looks, his mother; in heart, his father, which is all well and good. So he's kind of inherited the will of both of his parents, so to speak. And then we kind of see panels where, Yuno's battling against Zenon, Charlotte Rosalie is doing a thing, essentially sealing up Vanica, and then it kind of shows and pops up to where Nacht is, where Nacht gets up there and he's surprised that everyone else is doing well. Then something weird happens, they get like an eerie feeling, and then these roots start sprouting out of the castle, to which point we see Nacht do a union mode change, Fenris or Ferris, or Felis, depending on what translation you use, and basically he kind of changes more, looks more like a cat, and it probably is this shadow that basically did the reconnaissance and the updates. We see him use an ability where he looks essentially down the tree, and he noticed scientist Morris is there, and he points out that there's this kind of strange mana coming from inside the tree, and it's Mr. Morris, who's basically using demon skills or demon hosting to first have eyes and to take knowledge from Lolopeka. The problem you have with this is it's kind of come out of nowhere, but it's a nice problem to have, because what this ultimately does is it actually gives us time. So we were told there was 3 days, and by the third day all the levels will basically begin to open, and Yami and Thingy basically William Vengeance will die. What this means is, with the opening, there'll be people to fight for the foreseeable future, for the next few chapters, and hopefully give time for things to develop further. In any case, brilliant way to lead into the next point of the chapter, which is when things start sprouting out. Two demons appear who appear to be mirrors of each other. They appear to be twins, and they blow. Their force essentially blows Jack all the way to the wall, and I guess Dante does get pushed back a bit. You can't really tell by how much, but he does get pushed back a bit, and it forces Nacht to go into agility mode, so he kind of doesn't fully get pushed back, and then they have a conversation that's kind of mirroring each other, and that's where the chapter ends. So these two demons have appeared, who appear to be twins. I'm assuming we'll find out more in the next chapter without ruining it. So, the chapter for this week, chapter 280, was kind of sad from Nacht's perspective. It does, although, kind of throw a swerve ball from the people that were theorizing that Nacht was possibly going to be a betrayer. And I had my own theories around that as well. And being that this chapter kind of confirms that, the Dark Triad aren't necessarily needed to be sacrifices, it makes things a lot more interesting. We get a lot of confirmations here, and we get some setups that I think are really important. So let's kind of cover essentially what's going on. So first thing is with the tree. The tree essentially is sucking mana from the atmosphere, nature, and more than likely is going to do the same things from people. Kind of like the whole thing with the chakra tree in Naruto. A similar kind of thing, I'd imagine. Now, with Melaleuona defeating an ancient demon last time, and then another ancient demon appears, and she's going to have to fight another one. Now, are both of these ancient demons the same level? Possibly not. This may be stronger, and possibly we might find ancient demons on lower levels that are even stronger than this one. So do take that into consideration. The other thing to bear in mind, we haven't seen to this point this new form of Melaleuona's limits or drawbacks, because as you know, with a lot of these different types of, if you've watched lore, fantasies and magic, for every great magic there has to be some type of drawback or some type of consequence, and we may see that moving forward. There's also lesser demons compared to the ancient demon essentially rampaging through the kingdom now, so there'll have to be someone that's going to fight them as well. Plus, we don't know what's going on with the people that were fighting the helpers, the apostles of the Dark Triad, because essentially it's kind of gone quiet on them as well. So, you know, Fuego Leon and so on and so forth. So, we get that. Next thing I want to talk about really is what's going to happen with these fights. So we still see that Vanika's was sealed, but then something happens, and she then gets out and is ready to fight again, and we see what happens with Zenon. Zenon initially saying that 70% wasn't enough. This is important information, because what this essentially is doing is helping you scale where Yuno's ability is right now. So providing he doesn't come up with any trump cards, providing there's nothing else, we know he's at least above 70%. Right now, full spirit dive, mana being saved for a few days, that sort of thing, him doing his, training as well. So it's good to bear that in mind. He lost to 50, he's above 70, possibly 75, we don't know. And then obviously there's the Dante situation dealing with Jack. Now, because of the emergence of these demons, and the gate being opened, they're able to show 100% of their abilities, which then sets up the stage now to see really how strong is Nacht, really how strong is Charlotte, really how strong is Jack the Ripper, and Nacht. So we need to find that out. So that's what that's going to be about. Then there's the two demons, the twins. One, I believe the female one is called Lilith. I'm sure they mentioned the male's name as well. Pardon me. Off the top of my head, I can't see it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I was just checking my notes. So what we're told is these people are kind of like the people that rule that first floor. They're the best. And Nacht had expected them to be a similar level to the Dark Triad. They're not. They're a lot more powerful. And Plumid, one of the demons that Nacht has control over, is trembling. And it's kind of sad that Nacht basically he's thinking about someone needs to fight them. And there's like a panel of Asta, and then he says, Plumid, come die with me. And it's kind of sad that's he's ready to die. It's honourable to a certain degree, but look, I don't want anybody from the Black Clover, the Black Bulls, I should say, crew to die. Whether they've just been introduced or whatever have you, doesn't matter. I don't want them to die. Clearly in the story we've seen that a lot of the relatives die. That's a thing, whether it's father, sister, cousin, la 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 la. But I don't want the members of the Black Bulls to die. That's just for me. You can take William, sure, no problem. I don't mind him. We don't want Yami to die. We don't want anyone from the Black Bulls to die. Well, I don't anyway. So it's kind of sad. Obviously, Dante's gonna start fighting again with Jack. He's obviously more confident. They're all at 100%. So we're now gonna see how does a 100% devil-hosted human do against a captain from so Dark Triad versus these people. Now that being said, this is no kind of limiter or guide to how powerful the actual demons are going to be. Because if the first level of pure demon is above the Dark Triad, you can imagine what the power levels of the bottom 2 or 3 levels is going to be, especially when if and when they'll appear. With that being said, we're gonna have to wait and see what happens. Now, there's a statement that's made saying that you're not gonna have a house to go to, and then we see that an ancient demon's basically in Clover Kingdom, and we see Asta's kind of finishing up in training. There's 2 things with this to bear in mind. One, he's tired because he's just finished training, and we don't know when that panel's been taken and how much rest he's had. 2, we want to see, with, I guess 1.2 is we're going to see the fruits of the labour of this training. Now, the second proper point of this little section is, do you not find it interesting that in Clover Kingdom, the first Wizard King for an ancient demon class being based on, the elf doing the forbidden magic, and now Asta, who wants to be a Wizard King, is going to get the opportunity to fight an ancient demon class being. What this ultimately is setting up a parallel between the 2 things. Now, of course, one was a royal, one's not a royal, one was gifted with magic, one isn't gifted with magic, but he's been gifted with the ultimate hard counter against all attributes of magic, anti-magic. So hopefully this will be a kind of a way to say, a kind of a flex, you could say, to what this union is going to be about. We got a glimpse. Now we hopefully to see more. We want to see a mana skin or anti-mana skin, anti-mana zone, where basically everywhere he goes he cancels out the magic. Another thing I was thinking about is if loses here, what's next for him? He's loved by magic now. He's done a full spirit dive. The only thing I can think of is ancient magic or ultimate magic that the elves can teach him, because that's the only other thing that we've really seen from him. We haven't seen a second attributes, etc, etc, etc. Other thing to point out is if Charlotte does go down, this is probably going to be where Noella's going to come in and help out and get her revenge for Vanica. The whole Lolopika thing, although it's disappointing and it's a negative thing, if she does die, this probably will set up the water spirit going to a water user. Another one I can think of is Noella, because obviously she's from royalty, high magic, high affinity, elementally. It's probably going to be the case. And so yeah, we'll see what's going to happen with that if she dies. I'm fine with her dying. We've only been introduced to her. It'll set a few things up for Heart Kingdom, I'd imagine. However, I also want to see what's going to happen with the Diamond Kingdom and hopefully see Marth very soon. This video is dragged on long enough, so thank you very much for sticking it out if you've got this far. I have been banned from the Black Clover subreddit, so you won't find me posting any links there, but I will try to get my message out. But if you can, please share it on Reddit where possible, and I'll see you next time. Peace.